Huh? All right, we'll just go ahead and start. Hey, everybody, I'm Angel Falk, the Fitness Angel, and I'm so glad y'all are here tonight. We have a very special guest, Elaine Mason, who is a financial advisor. I'm going to read her bio so she can jump right in and start teaching us. Elaine Mason is a certified financial planner, a business coach, and a presidential marketing director for the Juice Plus Company. She spent the first 10 years of her professional life helping high net worth clients preserve and grow wealth. After having her two daughters, she decided to retire from the financial planning world to stay home with her girls. She embraced an opportunity in the health and wellness industry that gave her the freedom to build and grow her own wealth. That opportunity has allowed her to impact thousands, challenging them to take charge of their physical and financial health for the last 23 years. So raise your hand if you want more financial health. Yes, raise your hand if you want more health in your body, right? Physical health. Well, I'm so excited because we can do both. We can help people with both. So I'm going to pass the baton to Elaine. And if y'all want to mute yourself out, I am recording this. And so we will have a link for you to share with your friends after this if you want to share it. All right, Elaine.
Thank you. I am so excited to be with you guys this evening and just share a little bit about my health journey. My journey started back in 1999. And yes, you heard me right. I'm old. But it started with my husband and I. Every year, we kind of set that year as a specific focus. And 1999 was the year of health for us. And so the only thing I knew back then to do was to take a multivitamin and exercise. And so that's what we started doing. And then about 6 months into our journey, my husband had some blood work done because he was going to get some life insurance done. And his blood work came back and his iron was like sky high. Like the insurance agent was like, you need to go get this checked out. And so the only thing we could think about was that possibly could it be the multivitamin we started taking? And so we got off the multivitamin. He went 3 months, did his blood work again, and guess what? His iron was in normal range. And so suddenly I thought, well, if getting healthy doesn't mean taking a multivitamin, what do I need to do to be healthy? And that's where my journey began. So I began researching, what do I need to do if I want to be healthy? And I want to prevent disease. And I would slow down that aging process. And so everything I looked at just kept coming back saying whole food nutrition, whole food nutrition. And I thought, okay, we weren't junk food eaters, but we certainly didn't eat 9 to 13 raw fruits and vegetables every day. And so what happened was we decided we were going to start juicing. Anybody else ever juiced before? The Masons weren't too good at it. I'm seeing some people do this. I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old at the time and a husband who traveled every week. And I remember like sitting the green drinks down in front of my 1-year-old, my 3-year-old, and them looking up at me like, are you serious? And we tried. I'll say that we really gave it our best shot. But I love that saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I'm looking at Lynn Henry because she knows Judy Blue, a dear friend of mine, shared Juice Plus with me, and it came right when I needed it, right when I was looking for it. And I knew it when she said, this is a whole food concentrate. This is not isolated, fragmented, man-made supplements. This is whole food concentrate. I knew it was the answer. And I remember saying to my husband, it was a cassette tape, and I took it to my husband and I was like, here you go. You got to listen. This is our answer. And I said, it's Dr. Richard Du Bois. He's chief of internal medicine at Atlanta Medical. And he looked at me and he goes, I don't need to listen to that. And my heart sunk because I thought, but this is the answer. And he goes, Elaine, my mom worked for Dr. Du Bois for 25 years. He said, whatever he's recommending, buy it all. And so that started our journey. But the problem was I had just quit my job as a certified financial planner. We have 2 daughters at the time, and I didn't want to miss a day of their lives. So I said, okay, I'll quit. I'll stay at home. And so the problem was we just lost 50% of our income. And so that was the challenge. But what happened was I literally just looked at my grocery bill and said, okay, what on my grocery bill doesn't need to be there? Because I'm a budgeter. I can tell you everything we've spent for the last 34 years. And I thought, what can I cut out and replace with Juice Plus? And so I have to be honest, I wasn't anticipating experiencing anything. I knew we needed whole food nutrition. We were not a sick family. At least I thought we were. I would say we were average, but as Dr. Pam Popper says, who wants to be average in a sick society? And when I think about that, we got started taking Juice Plus. About 6 months in, my husband and I sat down and said, what are you noticing? What have you seen? And as we begin to share the changes that had taken place over 6 months, once we got on Juice Plus, that's when it all dawned on me. We weren't that healthy. And my oldest daughter, every 4-6 weeks, she would get sick from whatever was going around the preschool. I was dog tired at 8 o'clock at night, dropping on a couch like I couldn't do anymore. I had no energy. My husband's eating Rolaids like they're going out of style. But yet 6 months in, we start noticing those things aren't happening anymore. And although those don't seem like big health issues, what were they? They were red flags. We were young and we were experiencing things we should not have been experiencing. And so that's when I knew Juice Plus was making a huge difference. And so I started telling everybody about Juice Plus. And I've got to show you, let me share my screen with you.
He put it out there. I was like, oh my God. Well, I never.
And so just so in case you don't know what Juice Plus is, I want you to just kind of get a glimpse of what I'm talking about. It is 30 raw fruits and vegetables that have been juiced and vine ripened so that it captures all the nutritional value. And I don't know about you, I've never eaten 30 raw fruits and vegetables in one day in my life. But what I knew was this whole food nutrition was having a profound impact on my family's health. And we weren't even sick, and we were beginning to see these changes as we continued to feed ourselves. And then about 3 years ago, Juice Plus came out with a full spectrum 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 omega that is plant-based. We skip the fish and go straight to the plants. And those nutrients going into our body every single day began to heal our bodies that we didn't even really know were broken down. But it was exactly what I was looking for. Well, so I'm telling everybody I know about this whole food concentrate. Nobody could get their kids to eat what they needed to eat. And my husband probably was the worst eater of my whole family. He works, well, anyway, he works in the restaurant industry, and he would travel from Atlanta all the way down to Macon. And I think he ate every barbecue restaurant there was. And so he really needed Juice Plus. But anyway, he goes, Elaine, so he knew what I was struggling because I wanted a business that I could be passionate about. And over here, we've got our health issue that we're talking about. We've just added Juice Plus, remedied that issue. But on this side, I'm over here praying, asking God to give me a business. I love the financial planning world, but it got to the point with 2 young babies. There's no way. 1 whole quarter of the year, I did taxes and was working 70, 80 hours a week. And I was being told the only way I'm going to make more money is to work more hours. That didn't fit into our life plan. And so when I quit, I'm at home wanting a business that I could be passionate about, that I could literally create an income stream. And so my husband looked at me when we were having this conversation. He said, Elaine, I think you found career 2.0. And I'm like, what? And he goes, I think you need to check into becoming a Juice Plus rep. And I said, I can't sell anything. You know, I'm that accountant that's in the back corner and they're just sliding the food under the door to keep me working. I don't know how to sell. I'm not a salesperson. And he looked at me and he said, but you know how to tell everybody something you're passionate about or something you're not happy about, either one. And he said, you've been gifted this information. Why wouldn't you share it with people? At least cover our cost. And I thought, he goes, you've already done that. You've shared it with all your friends. And so suddenly I looked at this incredible Juice Plus product that our family loved. And I thought, is that something I could do? And so what I did, because I was a financial planner, I said, I'm going to look at this business side, this business behind this Juice Plus product, as if someone came, a financial planning client came to me and said, what about this investment? What about this business? Would you invest in this business? And so what I did was look at the Juice Plus company and this as from a financial planner's eyes. And in financial planning, there are 6 areas, and we're going to talk about them tonight. And what I wanted to see is, would the Juice Plus company and this product and this business, or would it check off every single one of those boxes? Would I recommend this business or this company to any of my financial planning customers? And the first area is what's called cash flow, which most of you probably can imagine what that is. But whenever I would get a new financial planning client, what I wanted to make sure is do they have margin at the end of the month? The amount by which income exceeds expenses. And what I learned really quick, it didn't matter how much money someone made, it really mattered how well they took care of the money they made. And could they create a margin at the end of the month? Is there more money than there is month at the end of the month? And so when you look at income, there's only certain areas that you really can spend. You can give your money away, you can pay taxes, you can pay debt, or you can live off what comes in. And what you want to do is spend less than what you earn so that you create a margin. Well, we suddenly had lost 50% of our income. We had margin for many years until I quit, and suddenly there was no margin. And when I looked at this, I thought this would allow me to create an income stream that would bring margin. We'd have margin at the end of the month. So instantly, that first area of financial planning, I was able to check off. Yes, if I partnered with the Juice Plus business, I already had customers. I just wasn't getting paid on them because I just called the person who shared Juice Plus with me. And so I knew that was possible. The second area is investments. And anytime we're looking at, as a financial planner, we're looking at investments, the number one thing we want to do is make sure there's diversification. And when you think about diversification, you reduce the risk because you allocate funds among various financial instruments, industries, and other categories. And suddenly it hit me. By partnering with the Juice Plus company, what I've just done is diversified our income streams. And I'll give you an example how beautifully that worked. We just came through a pretty rough 2 years with the pandemic. My husband's in the restaurant business. What industry took a pretty brutal beating during this industry? The restaurant industry. But guess what area boomed during the pandemic? And that's the wellness industry. People wanted to protect their health. And so they really began looking at their health. And so by having multiple streams of income, what you're doing is diversifying your income stream. So this second area of financial planning, I was able to check off. If I partner with the Juice Plus company, I've just now created an additional income stream into our household. The third area is retirement. And I knew once I looked at the business plan and the income or in the compensation plan of the Juice Plus company, I knew it was exactly what I was looking for. My financial planning clients have been high wealth individuals. And what I realized was these high wealth individuals had figured out how to create residual income. And residual income, if you look at that last sentence there, residual income comes from building an asset that can be owned or controlled to produce value for you. And I realized today, I've been part of the Juice Plus company for 22 years. I have customers who've been customers for 22 years. And every day when I sit down and work, I'm not trading time for money, which is what I did as a financial planner. And what I heard, Elaine, we're paying you as much as we can. The only way you can make more money is to bring on more business. I only have so many hours in a day. And with 2 small children, the last thing I wanted to do was work more hours. But what I saw with the Juice Plus company is the ability to create residual income. Those customers that became my customers 22 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, guess what? They're still customers. I don't have to keep going back and reselling it. They love Juice Plus. They're as passionate about Juice Plus as I am. They send me people, they send me customers. They tell people for me. That's residual income. And that got me excited when I realized how strongly this partnering with the Juice Plus company would create a residual income, a retirement income stream for me. And you know what? I'm 22 years in. I got a good 20 years to go. Imagine the income stream that's created over a 40-year time span. That gets me excited. It's exciting to see the income stream that's been created. It's 4 times what I got paid as a financial planner. So this was a huge mark that I get a check off that absolutely it passed the mustard in that area. The fourth area was taxes. I knew hands down, partnering, having my own business, there's not a better way to create tax benefits than to have your own business. And I knew without any kind of investigation that partnering with the Juice Plus company, creating my own business through this company, this tried and proven company, that I knew this was a no-brainer. So I checked that off. Everything I do, everybody I know hears about Juice Plus. So many people who I do business or that I do business with, that I spend time with, are my customers. And so many things are deductible because of that. Answering that question. And some of you may later on after this call, we're going to do a whole area about tax and the deductions that come along with having this incredible business that we have in this partnership with Juice Plus. So you're welcome to join us on that call as well. So the fourth area was definitely a check. Number 5 was insurance. This is an area I thought there's no way that partnering with the Juice Plus company, how would being a sole proprietor like I am, how would a company like Juice Plus pay for a benefits package? But to my amazement and surprise, Juice Plus provides at the national marketing director level a full benefits package. And it blows my mind when I think about medical insurance, dental insurance, disability insurance, tuition allowance. I have two daughters that just finished, both of them finished 4 years of college. And I loved going to my mailbox and picking up those tuition reimbursement checks. Imagine that. Chiropractic care, vision insurance, life insurance, holiday bonus. And I get an expense allowance every month to pour back into my business. That's amazing. And I don't know of another direct selling company out there that provides a benefits package like Juice Plus. So I get the benefits, the tax benefits of being self-employed, and I get the insurance benefits as if I were employed with a large corporation. That is a huge benefit. And I couldn't believe that I was able to check that area off as well. The sixth area in financial planning is estate planning. And when I think about these 6 areas of financial planning, this is the area that probably today, maybe because I'm getting older, but gets me the most excited. Because what I know is I am able to pass this business down to my 2 daughters. Think about that. I've worked for 22 years. I got another good 20 years to invest in this business. Imagine the income stream I get to pass down to my children. When I die, if I'm working as a normal employee, what happens when I die? That income is gone. But I've worked, let's say 40 years, I get to pass an incredible income stream to my girls. Both of them have joined me in this business, and I'm able to pass this business down to them. And when it comes to estate planning, what you're trying to do is pass assets from one generation to the next. I don't know of a better way to do that than through partnering with the Juice Plus company, creating an income stream that creates a residual income, but then at my death, it continues to live on. That is an amazing estate planning strategy that once I've looked at all these areas, every single one of them passed the mustard when it comes to partnering with the Juice Plus company. So let me take up just a minute to say, I've shared from a financial planning standpoint why this company made so much sense. But what makes the Juice Plus company so unique? It's the most researched product in the world. It's NSF certified. It's the product that's used for Olympians and pro athletes because it's NSF certified. We give free Juice Plus to kids with every adult that gets on Juice Plus for free. You show me another company that does that out there anywhere. It's media driven. It's doctor recommended. So many doctors. That's why I joined, was the validation from Dr. Richard Du Bois. We're in the wellness industry. We can't be in a better industry right now. We are in over 20 different countries. So it's a global business. It's product. Somebody needs to, thank you. It's product driven. It's consumable. So people need it. They're eating it every day. It's going to be gone every 4 months. They're ready for a new shipment. Your positions are permanent. It's a $10 billion company, 40 years old, unlimited potential. Unlike in my financial planning world where there was a cap, we're paying you as much as we can. There's no cap on how much we can make with our company. There's no inventory, no territory restrictions, and no quotas. Those hit all the areas when I was looking for a business. Every one of those areas that I wanted checked off were checked off from this list of the Juice Plus company.
Okay.
For when you think about what type of business is Juice Plus, it encompasses all 4 business concepts. It's franchising, it's brand name, it's tried and proven system. You can step into it. It's turnkey. It's a network marketing that you pull from people you know, home-based business. It's direct sales. It's consumer to consumer, website, social media channel, texting. It is simple today to do business. And it also pulls from corporate America in that it has a benefits package. So putting all those business concepts together, Juice Plus Company and this business is a unique opportunity that we get to capitalize on all of these business concepts, which makes it unique, as well as it makes it lasting, a lasting business concept. And the last thing I want to ask of you, is it right for you? Are you ready to create multiple streams of income that I feel is no longer a luxury? I think we've just come through a brutal season. And I think having those multiple streams of income isn't a luxury. I think it's a necessity anymore. And we invite you to join us into this amazing company, the Juice Plus Company. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Angel, and just let you finish out our talk this evening.
Whoops, I was muted. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Elaine. Oh my gosh, that was really great. I'm so glad I'm recording this. So yes, we all need that. And I think we did have a wake-up call these last couple of years. So the wellness industry is the right one to be in. And I believe Juice Plus is the best company to be in by far when you went through all those points. But guys, you may be watching this, maybe not now on this live call, but maybe later in a recording. And you're thinking, I need to learn more. Reach out to the person who asked you and get more information. And then you may be like, I need the product. My health is failing. I need help with the product. Get started. We are here to help you. And don't forget, children get those fruits and veggies at no cost to you, which is such a blessing. Both of my kids went through that. And then you might be that person number 3. Yes, I want to join this mission. I need a side gig. I need extra income. And for a lot of us, we started because we wanted to get healthier and we wanted to get the best price. And that's how it starts for a lot of us. A lot of you on this call may have started that way, but now you're ready to take your business to a new level. Now you're ready to start really earning these benefits and this income. And so we want to invite you to say yes to joining the mission and building your financial future. I love it. I love it. I love it. Did I leave anything else out, Elaine?
Perfect.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to stop the recording. Okay.
Okay, so everyone, you may want to get a cup of coffee and settle in. Tax is never exciting, but it is, you know what, I guess I must like it because I went into it, but it definitely is, it behooves us to really know the ins and outs and take advantage of every legal deduction and setup that we possibly can. So let's jump in. As most of you guys know, that when you have your own business, there are several different ways, entities that you can have to record this income on your tax return. Most people will choose to be what's called a sole proprietor, a Schedule C employee, or not employee, but owner operator of their business. And how you record that is on a Schedule C on your regular 1040 tax return. That is one way and probably the easiest and the most common way. Some people at certain levels, once you get to certain levels of income, it makes more sense to incorporate If somebody has some questions on that, we can dig into that. But for the most part, this would be where you're going to, when you file your tax return, that's where it's going to show up. Whether you have somebody doing your taxes for you, or maybe you're doing it on TurboTax or something along that line. So
I
Schedule
have a
C.
question.
Yes, please do.
Okay, because Wade does our taxes and he asked, is it good to become a sole proprietor? Is that what you're?
Yes, and that's what most people by default are going to do, is become a sole proprietor. Usually you're doing business as Juice Plus. You can, just to kind of side note it here, some of the terms you're going to hear would be an LLC,
Okay.
a sole proprietor, a schedule, an S corporation. There's also a C corporation, but that's more toward professional service industries, like your doctors, your lawyers, those kind. So an LLC, and there's also partnerships. So typically as a Juice Plus partner, we're not in partnership with anybody. So a partnership would not be part of it. A Schedule C is going to be the easiest thing and what people normally are going to do. Typically, I know when I did taxes many years ago, once you hit about maybe a $200,000 net income, it makes sense at that point to become like an S corp or something along that line. And we can go into detail with that, or we don't have to.
Okay, no, that you answered my question. At what
Okay.
level would you change over? So thank
Okay,
you.
so this typically is where people land for a good while until their business hits a substantially higher income level. Okay, this is the second page. And if you on your Schedule C, which is within a 1040, here's going to be all these. I just took this off my own personal tax return. Here are the different expenses that I have added that are particular to me and my Juice Plus business. And we're going to walk through a more comprehensive list. And this is kind of where we're going to camp out for a while. I can't see the very first. What does someone read off the very first item at the top? What does that say?
Deductible business expenses.
Oh, is that the first one? Okay, I thought there was one hiding from me. All right, so these are what I want to challenge you guys to do, is really kind of, I can always give you this list, or just kind of as we talk about them, write them down, the ones that really do pertain to us, because you want to take advantage of every deduction that's legally yours to take. And I think sometimes we overlook some, but if we kind of have those tax antennas up, we're going to take advantage of every one we can. So cost of goods sold, fortunately, we don't have to carry inventory. That relates to inventory. So we don't have to worry about that. Thank goodness. I would not want to have to deal with inventory. Accounting fees. So if you're paying someone to do your tax return or track your expenses, yes, you're able to deduct those expenses, those fees. Advertising, some of the ways, some areas of advertising might be, some of us use Project Broadcast, some of us, some other things. I know I used to advertise, when one of my daughters was a cheerleader, and I would always put a Juice Plus ad. She was always having to sell ads for the football programs. I might put an ad in there for my Juice Plus business. So anytime you're advertising and paying any money for advertising, amortization would not apply to us unless, anyway, that's typically any kind of business equipment can be written off in full. So we don't really have to worry about amortization. And Angel, if people have questions in the chat, please feel free to just stop me as I go, and I'll be happy to answer those. Answering, it has an answering service fee, but that could be our voice comm would be that, would definitely be a write-off there. Auto expenses, what I've learned through the years is mileage, tracking our mileage is typically, we used to have a report that we'd run to see if actual expenses or mileage would be better. Typically, mileage, tracking your mileage is going to be a better benefit for you. So, what I do is just track everything on my calendar of where I go. If I drop off product, maybe somebody referred someone to me and I'll drop off a bag of complete, or I'm going to the airport, flying to conference. So I'd track my mileage there, or to a boot camp, or to an event, or to meet with somebody. So please, your mileage is huge. So make sure you are tracking it. You also want to track what your beginning mileage, what your odometer says on January 1st, and what your odometer says on December 31st. And you need to give that beginning and ending mileage to your CPA. And so you have the total mileage. And then you go back and look at, okay, what mileage pertain to my Juice Plus? And then you get a percentage, I forget, it's 50 something. I have it, I think, on the next page per mile. So yes, Angel.
The question from Cindy, one of the questions she wants to know is how much of our products do we write off? Is there a percentage or?
If it is, and we'll, actually that kind of would fall under the inventory. We don't really keep inventory except to, give samples out, which we definitely want all kinds of product to give samples out. But if we are actually personally consuming it, we cannot write that off. But any products that we have that we give away as samples, that can be written off. Okay, so hopefully nobody has any bad debts. Bank charges, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Computer supplies and maintenance expenses. One thing that I just saw today that came to my mind is, my storage and paying Google, and, it feels like I get nickeled and dimed to death. So track all that kind of stuff. Any kind of, ink and paper and maintenance. I have a computer guy who comes out on a quarterly basis and maintains, my phone, my computer, my iPad. And so that's deductible. Consulting fees. I have a business coach that I meet with on a monthly basis. And so I write those fees off. I have an assistant. And so she would fall under the contract labor. So that's deductible. Typically charitable contributions, typically you'd want to make those through personal, but let's just say, and I did this the other day, I gave a quad away. There was a big silent auction going on, and I helped one of my team members and gave them a quad to do in the silent auction. So that could be considered a charitable deduction or a business deduction, either one. Depreciation really doesn't apply. That would apply if we owned a brick and mortar business. So that one doesn't apply. Dues and subscriptions, think about, I get health magazines. So I would write that off because I'm always getting ideas and tips from there. So that would be a dues and subscriptions. Education expense, we go to boot camps. We get certified to be health coaches, any kind of educational expense like that. We definitely want to make sure we capture that expense. Gifts that are business related. I give gifts to my team. And so, I want to track those. Sometimes I send flowers if there's a baby, a death. That would be deductible as a gift, a business expense. Home office expenses. This is a big one. If you have an office that is solely for your business, you want to, whatever expenses as a household, you get a percentage based on the square footage of your home office. So you definitely want to be taking your home office expense. Insurance. I'm trying to think of any kind of insurance that I have liability insurance that protects me. So a portion of that would be written off for my Juice Plus business. Interest expense, that would only be if you purchase something for your business and you went into debt to do it. I can't really think of anything that would pertain to. Janitorial expense back into, if I have a home office, I have a housekeeper. And so what I pay her, the square footage of my office, I get to take that percentage, and whatever I pay her, that percentage is deductible. Laundry and cleaning expense, kind of went back into the janitorial expense. I don't have a laundry expense. I don't think that would apply to us. Legal and professional, if we pay someone to do our tax return, that's going to be deductible. License and permits, we pay $52, not a lot, a year to be a Juice Plus rep. That would be deductible. Any kind of other license, professional license that, maybe you're a certified health coach. If there's a license or associated with that, that would be deductible. Management fees, I don't think that would apply here. Meals and entertainment definitely will, when we're meeting with our customers, with our partners, and we're picking up the meals or entertainments, taking our team and doing something fun with them. Conference, the cost if we get our team together, that's a deductible expense. Office supplies, everything associated with that. We want to capture every last thing. So, I'm going to stop right here and just say, you want a folder that every time you're just dropping the receipts in that folder. And today I literally paid someone who did some creative work for me, and I just printed out the bill that they sent me and dropped it in the folder. Pest control, again, that would fall under the home office. So you'd be a percentage of the size of the square footage of your office. You would be able to write that off. Postage and shipping, printing. Typically, most of us have a home office, but if someone went and rented space, you would be able to deduct that. Repairs and maintenance on your house, again, would be a percentage of your home office. One of the beautiful things about having our Juice Plus business is being able to fund a retirement plan. And because we have our own business, we can contribute way more than just a regular IRA. And that can be one of the biggest benefits that we can take advantage of. Salaries, that's if you were to hire people. I choose to do contract labor. It's a little less labor intensive when it comes to tax reporting. So typically most people probably would opt more into the contract labor, but some people might have a full-time person. Let's see, security expense. I pay for that monthly for my house. So again, if I have a home office, I can take a percentage of, what it takes to secure our house. Any kind of taxes, I can't really think of taxes that would be, I'm sitting here thinking that would be deductible on our business. Well, our self-employment taxes would come into play. We get to deduct half of any self-employment taxes that we pay. I can't believe y'all don't have questions. Maybe it's too late. Hopefully you're staying. We're almost done here. Obviously our telephones, any tools that we purchase, I'm in love with the little, I don't know where I have a mini iPad and one of the little stencils that writes in it. I'm in love with that little thing. So tools, any kind of tools that help you do your business, run your business, absolutely write those, keep those expenses. Obviously travel expenses, flights, and we talked about mileage. We don't wear uniforms, so that doesn't work. Utilities, again, a percentage of what our total utilities would be based on our home office. And also waste removal. Those are utilities, that's an expense that is a household expense. Probably the largest deduction there is going to be a home office. So you definitely, if you have an office that is designated for your Juice Plus business, you absolutely want to take advantage of that. This is, okay, I have my assistant who just keys in all my expenses into Quicken, and I've used Quicken for 20 some years. So that's how I personally track my expenses. If you want it short and sweet and simple, throw them in a folder every month. At the end of the month, just tally them up into these different categories. You know what your check look like, what your expenses, and you know what your margin. Y'all learned the word, well, I know y'all know what margin means, but you know what your margin is from a monthly standpoint. If you have a tax person that is helping you calculate your taxes, then you're just basically saving yourself money because they don't have to do all this. You're submitting this to them on a monthly basis saying, hey, here's my expense. I've got it all written out. All they have to do then is either you just drop it into something like TurboTax or have somebody do it for you. Now, in the beginning, kind of depending on how much money you're making, I'm trying to see if, I think it's the next page. If you're saying, okay, I'm doing my own taxes, I kind of need help knowing how to pay my estimated tax payments. So we're going to talk a little, maybe before I go into detail, let me ask this question. Does anybody need help of calculating kind of how you'd go about figuring out how much tax you need to put aside so that you have it when it comes time to pay your estimated tax payments? Does everyone feel comfortable with that, or do we want to walk through that? Am I making sense? Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yes, Barbara Sykes says she would like help with that.
Okay. So if we are an employee, we get a paycheck and we see, you've heard the joke, someone says, who in the heck is FICA and why are they taking all my money? We know that as an employee, those taxes are taken out for us. We don't think about it. As a self-employed person, we have to do that ourselves. And so it's done through estimated tax payments. So there's kind of two different ways you can do it. You can, if your spouse is an employee, you can always contact their benefits person and say, hey, I need you to up his withholding a little bit and it cover yours. That's kind of the easiest way to do it, but you don't have to, or you may be in a position to say, no, I'm not married. I don't have somebody, I can do that for. Then you would pay your taxes by estimated tax payments. Estimated tax payments are due on April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th. And so back to, if you're saying you're getting to the point where you're starting to owe taxes because you're making enough money and you get your tax return back and you're like, holy cow, we owe some money. It's probably because you're doing well with your Juice Plus business. And I always say it's good to pay taxes because that means you're making money. So always think of it in that regard. That sounds like something a tax person would say, doesn't it? But it's good. I would rather make money and pay taxes than have no money. So good for you if you're owing money. And so then that means you need to start making estimated tax payments. And so back to this little worksheet, or if you're doing it on Quicken or whatever kind of financial tracking device you're using, you want to know what your net income is, your gross income minus your expenses to get your net income. And so if you look at, and I'm going to go back, if you pull your tax return, and most of you probably either have just had them completed, what you want to do is you want to look and see what your effective tax rate is. So to calculate your effective tax rate, you go to your prior year's tax return, to line 63 where it says tax due. And you divide that by line 43, which is your taxable income. What that's going to give you, it's going to give you your effective tax rate. We all fall into different tax brackets depending on how much money we make, but we have all these deductions. And so when it boils down to it, we want, what are we actually paying? What is that actual percentage? So that tells you how to get that percentage. So every month, what you'd want to do is take that percentage, multiply it by your net income, and then you'd want to put that money away in a some money market account, and it sits there until April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th. And what you're doing is on a quarterly basis, if you've been diligent to set aside that money, all you do is go to your account, pull out the money that you need to pay for that quarter. Now, I know it's late and I'm going through this pretty quickly. Did that make sense, or is there some questions? All right, I'm taking that. Everybody's tracking with me. Give me a thumbs up.
Yes, so we're good.
Everyone's tracking. It's not too late yet. Okay, you guys, a lot of you are on Central Time, so that's good. Okay, so back up here, I couldn't remember. Each business mile is worth 56 cents. So that adds up over time. So make sure you're tracking it. These were just a few little notes that I wanted to say. Okay, I'm saying number 2. Let me go back to what was number 2. Oh, depreciation expense. We don't need to worry about this. Keep meal and entertainment. Okay, I had a note here to keep meal and entertainment expenses separate because they were treated a little different, but Donald Trump made a change of that last year, so that does not apply, or when he was in office. And then this is your estimated net profit. Okay, I think we covered all of that. And then lastly, if anybody wants it, it's just a little, what I do is at the end of the year, when I get ready to send my information to my accountant, what I do is I go back to my calendar and I have listed everywhere that I went associated with business. And so I just tally up all my business mileage and then use this form and give it to my CPA. And so it's kind of a basic form, but it will help you remember to do that if anybody wants that. So I am going to stop share, make sure everyone, oh my gosh, we still have people on here. Okay, any questions? I'm happy to, answer any questions anybody has. If I didn't make sense, or you've thought of something, or maybe I didn't cover something you were wanting me to talk about.
I had something someone mentioned to me that she deducted all of her Juice Plus products for her and her whole family. So you said we should not do that. It's really just samples.
Correct. Will she get audit? I don't know that they would ever find that, but legally, yes, our own consumption, we are not supposed to deduct.
Okay. All right. And I was going to just amen you on the gas deductions, because when I do that, that helps me a lot.
Yeah.
Because I take samples everywhere, and I teach in a gym. So when I'm at the gym, I give samples. I consider that part of my job.
Absolutely. Every time you go and have dinner or lunch with somebody, your trip there, your trip back, if it's a business meeting, there are so many ways, and it's easy if we're not really keeping top of mind, it's easy to miss those deductions. So hopefully, I can do some screenshots and send it to you if y'all want some of those, and that way you've got them and can really, keep them in front of you, so that we take it every advantage we can. This is one of the beautiful things about having our own business. So, All right, ladies, I can't believe we all made it. Maybe everybody's asleep.
Thank you for
I
doing
believe
that.
I used to do this. Oh, I love what I do now.
Well, hearing you being in it so much longer than me and probably most of us, it's really inspiring. You know, that you keep going, you keep growing. And I've got
Oh,
customers
yeah.
that started with me in the beginning, and I hope they'll stay with me that long. It's so wonderful. And I get testimonies of, dramatic health changes. So they're sending their people over. So yeah, I definitely want to make this my retirement.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine doing anything else. I can't. So,
Yes.
well, thanks you guys. Thanks for hanging in there. Loved meeting all of you and just enjoyed you being on the call, and best to each one of you as you build and grow your businesses.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
That was
Thank y'all for
awesome.
joining.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks so much.